Hi, I'm Steve Dudash at IHT Wealth Management. Welcome to this week's Wealthcast. So I get this question or variations of this question, and I wanted to touch on it, and then we're going to apply it to what's going on in the current interest rate world. But how much should I put down for my mortgage? Should I put more down? Should I make extra payments? The math on all of those is really the same thing. So I want to run through a quick example, and then we're going to talk about with the rising interest rate market we're currently in, what does that mean? But first and foremost, so we're all on the same page, let's say you're buying $1 million home, for easy numbers. $1 million home, you got to put 20% down, right, to make the bank happy. So that's a $200,000 down payment. Should you put more down, or should you make a bigger payment on your monthly payment? Well, how the math works is this. Your bank money is earning zero right now, right? So if you have extra money in your bank accounts and you're debating between your bank account or your mortgage, and let's just call your mortgage payment at 4% because that's roughly where they're at right now. Well, if it's money that was going to stay in your bank account earning zero or paying down that mortgage at 4, well, you're better off at least taking some of that bank account money and paying down the mortgage because you're locking in that 4% return. You're basically helping your net worth more in that example. If it's money coming from your portfolio that is generally making, let's just say 7%. Well, the 7% return is better than the 4% negative on your loan. So in that example, you probably normally, but not always, and we're going to talk about that, would want to keep your portfolio as is and not pay down the mortgage because it's earning a little bit more over time. If this was the 80s, when interest rates were at like 13, 14% and your mortgage was up there, your portfolio was not doing 13 or 14% every year. In that example, you would definitely want to sell the portfolio and pay down the mortgage as much as possible, helping your net worth. So for the last decade, interest rates at historic lows, it didn't make sense to pay your mortgage down for the most part. You know, everyone's situation is different, but generally speaking. But now, given that interest rates are for the first time really in a long time starting to rise, and your bonds are going to probably start seeing some price problems or depreciation, it means your bond portfolios probably aren't going to be making that much money as what they once were. So let's say your average bond portfolio is making 2% in the next 5 years. Well, if you have a 4% mortgage, or you buy a mortgage next year and you have a 5% mortgage because rates are going up, for the first time really at least in a decade, you may be better off selling some of those bonds and paying down that mortgage because its return is higher in that example. Now, everyone's situation is different, and I just went through a quick example on this, but it's the first time in a decade that it's important for us to start looking at these numbers, and so I think I wanted to get it out there that everyone should at least take a little bit of time and look at their personal situation. And I know that example was quick, so if you have questions, go to @IHT and ask us, ihtwealthmanagement.com, or you can email me directly at steven.dudash@ihtwm.com whenever you want. But it is something that people have forgotten about for a long time, rightfully so, because it didn't make any sense in the past to do it. But it's starting to make sense to at least evaluate it and see how it pertains to your situation. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you next week. Have a nice weekend. Take care.